Hey guys, so I'm sitting here at the taking it a little easy this week, and we're sitting here at the Petro in Hillsboro, the old Carl's Corner truck stop, years and years ago. If I could find a picture of the Carl's Corner sign that used to be up the highway a little ways to the north of here, or from where I'm at, it's kind of would be east of here on 35E. I'll try to find it, throw it up so you guys can see it, but. It's an old truck stop. It's been down here in Hillsboro for a long, long time. It's a Petro now, and but it was Carl's Corner originally, and then from Carl's Corner it was it became it was sold sort of. Willie Nelson bought part of it, and they sold Willie Nelson's biodiesel out of here. And as a matter of fact, there's still some big what do they call them? Containers? No, holding tanks back there that held some of the biodiesel that Willie Nelson was trying to sell for a little while. So, but we're sitting here. The reason we're here, not for any reason, but to have the brakes on the back of the truck adjusted or looked at. So, the guy that owns the company, he wants me to pull it in and have it looked at. And I would do it. I'd get underneath there and do it myself. But he wants proof that it was done. And I think that's just to put it in his files or whatever. So we're going to go do that here in a little bit. They said I'd be done they'd get me in by 4, and it's about 3:15 now. So I've been here since 2, had lunch or whatever. So we're having a kind of a decent little day. But I wanted to talk about the Tesla truck, electric trucks, Tesla trucks, automated trucks, blah, 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 blah. And this is an opinion piece. So keep that in mind as you listen to it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Okay? And we are here to discuss these things at leisure and not to get mad at anybody. And so if I see anybody getting mad in the comment section or anything like that, you're going to get deleted. So discuss it with good intent. You know, state your opinion and be fair to each other and let it understand that everybody has a right to their opinion in this case. So we sat around when we were out at Quartzsite a couple of months ago. We sat around, and Saznak and I were talking to each other and to everybody around the campfire about the electric trucks and about automated trucks and all these things. And so I stated at the time that Tesla had canceled their program. Not canceled it, but they had discontinued their program or whatever as far as it was concerned because they didn't have the right battery technology yet. That was wrong. They actually put a pause on their program while they developed the battery technology in order to build the trucks. And until battery technology catches up, really, they just don't feel like they can build a good truck. So, they're working on their own battery technology. I think they're working on a battery factory or something like that, either in Nevada or somewhere out west is all I can remember. So, with that being the case, it was a very interesting conversation, you know, that we had, and I'm adjusting the camera. Sometimes I don't like it being so close to me. And I feel like you guys probably wouldn't like it being so close to me either. So let's see. Anyway, so one of the things that we discussed while we were out there was whether or not automated trucks were going to be a thing. Well, here's the deal. Think about it like this, okay? There are trucks on the road today that are 30 years old, all right, that are still pulling freight. Now, the reason those trucks are out here is because they're cheap, you know? And there are guys out here that they want to be their own boss. They want to have their own truck. So they go out, they find cheap trucks, you know. Those trucks, they continue to run those trucks until those trucks break down or they put money into those trucks or whatever. And they run those trucks, you know, and that's this truck they run. Then there's the people that are next level up, okay? And they have the 20-year-old trucks, okay? And they're just trying to get the last bit of life out of those 20-year-old trucks or whatever. They're buying the 20-year-old trucks. They're going to drive them until they're 30 years old, you know, and put money into them and everything. There's people that are the next level up from that. We go 10-year-old trucks, you know. And those people that have the 10-year-old trucks, well, they bought them like I did. I bought my truck. It was 3 years old when I bought the truck. And my intention is to pay this truck off and to keep it, you know, and to continue paying on it and to put money into it and keep it going, you know. I've thought about, you know, trading the truck in and doing all this other stuff, but I really, lately, I've doubled down on the truck. This engine is a good engine. The truck's a good truck, and as long as I maintain the truck properly, it will be a good truck. So, that's my plan. But what I'm saying is, we don't even have electric trucks right now. And there are trucks that are still being sold today that are 20 years old for everyday use out on the road. So you can go get a 2001 truck. You can go get a 2002 truck. You can go get a 2003 truck. Now, they're at the far end of really what you want to buy, unless you want to be driving a classic truck. But they're there. And they're there, and they're used by people who are opening trucking businesses and buying trucks. So if tomorrow the Tesla truck or the Nikola truck or the Freightliner electric truck or whatever entered the market, okay, the infrastructure isn't really there currently at all the truck stops, like here at Carl's Corner, to charge these trucks yet. It's going to take some time for that infrastructure to be put in. 5 years, 10 years, something like that. Local trucks, or electric trucks locally, that's great. It's not hard to do because you're in a local urban environment and there's going to be places to charge your truck. The other thing is you're going to have probably a charger at the site that you keep the truck. So every night the local guy's going to come in, he's going to plug the truck in, he's going to go home, and the next day he's going to come in and get on the truck and take the truck. And so it'll be fully charged and ready for the day. What we do over the road right now cannot be replaced by electric trucks. And they're working on that. And it's coming. I don't care what anybody says. This is coming. Okay? But it'll be, if the electric truck's invented tomorrow, like is out tomorrow and being sold tomorrow, it will be 5 years before I get an electric truck, before I can afford to get an electric truck. Okay? And that's only if the electric trucks are so prevalent that I can afford to, that they're like Cascadias. I drive around in a Freightliner Cascadia. If they're like Cascadias, they sell that many, then yes, I will probably get an electric truck. If they don't, let's look at it, for instance, the Lone Star, the International Lone Star. I think those trucks are gorgeous trucks. Okay? But they are still high enough monetarily wise, because they're not enough of them, that they're above my ability to buy at a good level as far as like mileage on the engine. Okay, so with that being the case, you want to, sorry, I'm distracted for a second. With that being the case, electric trucks have to come out. They have to be out for about 5 years. They have to be as prevalent as some of the best-selling trucks that are out here. You know, the Freightliner and Cascadia, before they're really going to bleed into the lower sections. At 5 years old, these trucks probably are going to have their batteries replaced. I can't afford to buy a truck and immediately have the batteries replaced. I can afford to buy a truck that has the batteries replaced, but not one that immediately has that has to immediately have the batteries replaced. So then there's that as well. And that's the thing. Now, automated trucks, it's kind of the same thing. The big companies are going to invest in the trucks, but let's look at how the big companies invest in trucks now. Okay, a company like Sierra England or Swift or whatever, they don't just get rid of all their trucks that they got and buy brand new trucks. It's a constant program. It's a constant turnover. Okay, so in 2000 and when these trucks came out in 2008. Swift was probably running Freightliner Columbias, and we'll use Swift as a good example. Or let's use Sierra England. Okay, Sierra England was running Freightliner Columbias, okay, or Freightliner Centuries, probably. And so they're running Freightliner Centuries. Like, oh, there's a Cascadia that comes out. Okay, so now they're gonna start adding Cascadias. Well, maybe they got 6,000 trucks, so maybe this year they buy 1,000 Cascadias. Okay. So now they got 5,000 Centuries and 1,000 Cascadias. Next year they buy 1,000 Cascadias. Now they got 4,000 Centuries and 2,000 Cascadias. And so on and so forth until the fleet's replaced. And that's what I mean as far as like the turnover is concerned, okay? So it's like you go down the highway now. I remember when Sierra England was just starting to get in Peterbilts and Western Stars. And now that you never see a Sierra England Western Star, or at least I don't think I do, but you see Sierra England, you see red Sierra England, Peterbilt, Kenworth, you see a red Sierra England Freightliner Cascadias for sure. You don't see any of the older Cascadias anymore, but they're ordering from all three different companies. But what they're doing is they're rotating the stock. So The 2008 Cascadias, well, they got rotated out probably in what I remember from England was about 3 years old. So they got rotated out in 11, okay? And new Cascadias got bought, okay? And so, and it continued until they were out of trucks, or they had all new Cascadias. Well, now it's the same thing. They're rotating the stock, they're rotating through the Cascadias. And you could still find a few of the older Cascadias we see here in England, but mostly you're just going to see the new ones. And that's the thing. So the electric truck comes out this year. 1,000 are going to get ordered by England. The next year, 1,000. The next year, 1,000. Next year, 1,000. And 3 years after that is when you're going to start seeing those electric trucks. Well, they're still going to hold their value at the 3-year mark. But at the 6-year mark, when there's 4 times more trucks for sale, they're not going to have their value anymore. And then people like me, who come in and pick up the cheap stuff, we get a truck, and we get an electric truck. But it has to have new batteries in it, because I don't have money to replace batteries. The people that are running the 2007 and prior trucks, they're going to continue running those trucks. Why? Because they're good trucks. They don't have the DEF, the DPF system. I have the DEF system, DPF system, and knock on wood, it's not giving me any problems anymore. The 2008 truck, 8 and up trucks, you don't want to touch a 2008 truck. I mean, that's kind of known in the business. Don't get them. The 2004 trucks and back are pre-DPF filters. So 2007 is pre-DEF, 2004 is pre-DPF. So you don't have to worry about either one of those. You did have some problems with the 2004 to 2007s with the DPF filters. But anyway, the point being, hold on, I'll turn off the CB radio. The point being that electric trucks, they're coming. But it's going to be 10 years, probably, before you really see them. You'll see the big companies, Swift, Stevens Transport, maybe, CR England, Knight, Schneider. Those big companies will probably have electric trucks. But guys like me, we're not going to have electric trucks for a while. The automated trucks. That's an interesting one for me. I don't think American society is ready for an 80,000-pound truck driven by a computer. That's me. We can't even deal with each other as far as politics are concerned right now. And there were stories that were coming out of Arizona and Nevada when they were okaying the use of automated cars out there. In Arizona especially, of people that were cutting in front of these automated cars and slamming on their brakes and trying to get these automated cars to hit them. And it was either to prove that automated cars won't work, and they didn't work. It didn't work that way. But it was either to prove that automated cars don't work or to get a big payday, basically. And an 80,000-pound truck takes a lot longer to stop. And I don't care whether you got a computer control in the truck or not. If I pull in front of an 80,000-pound truck, real quick, whip in front of it, slam on the brakes in my Mercedes, which is a swift little car, there's nothing that truck's going to be able to do but hit me. And that's the thing. And then I get a big payday because the truck hit me. I could sue it. And I could say, the computer, blah, 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 so. So that's part of it. The other part of it is, what happens if that truck breaks down in the middle of nowhere? You get freak windstorms. You get freak snowstorms. You get freak rainstorms. Is a truck going to know how to deal with hydroplaning? Is a truck going to know how to deal with sliding down a highway? Is a truck going to know to pull over and stop while the wind's blowing? You get to a safe place and pull over and stop when the wind's blowing. Is it going to be able to deal with that kind of stuff? Is it going to know where the nearest safe place is? Are there going to be safe places for these trucks to pull over? How far apart do the safe places have to be for these trucks to pull over? It's going to be all kinds of stuff like that. Are they going to be allowed to go into cities? Are they going to be allowed, not allowed to go into cities? What is it going to be? There's infrastructure that has to be built in order to support both the electric truck and the automated truck, and we do not have the infrastructure for either one of those right now. Can the infrastructure be built? Absolutely. I mean, this is America. We can pretty much do. We can build whatever we think we need to build. You know, if we all agree that it needs to be built. But you know, what happens if a truck blows a tire? You know, a lot of companies are using, for a long time are using those super singles. What if people are using those super singles? What if a guy like, what if there are unscrupulous people in the trucking industry? What if an unscrupulous person in the trucking industry has an automated truck that's running, let's say, I always picture I-80 in Nevada for some reason. Let's say he has an automated truck that's running down I-80, and the automated truck has decides that it probably shouldn't be out. You know, there has to be an override sequence to get it off the highway to a safe place, right? So what if this unscrupulous person that owns this truck decides he's going to override the system, tell the truck to keep going, and just continue the truck to keep going down the road, because the load's got to be delivered. Sometimes the load just has to be delivered. You got to limp the truck in, you got to make the delivery, you got to get the truck back home, you know, to get it fixed. And I've done that a couple times with this truck. There are unscrupulous people out there who, when they get an automated truck 10 or 15, 20 years down the road, when the truck tells them it can't drive anymore, that it's unsafe to drive, are going to figure out a way to program the truck to continue to drive no matter what and get the load there on time. And what's going to happen is that truck is going to spin out, kill a family of 4, and there's going to be a big lawsuit. And then there's going to be a law that comes out that, you know, the trucks have to have people on them. So we might as well just make a law now that says that trucks have to have people on them. Now the unscrupulous guy will go to jail, obviously, because he killed a family of 4. And it won't be the truck's fault, but it's still like you have that ability, you know. I wanted to pose a question the other day on Reddit, and it didn't go through because I didn't follow the answers. But it was like, was it Ask Reddit or whatever? And the question is, I'm a Doctor Who fan, and in A Good Man Goes to War, Doctor Who says that good men don't need rules. Today's not the day to find out why I have so many. And he implies that a good man does not require rules to be good. He's inherently good. And that only a bad man requires rules to be good. But the problem with the human race, in my opinion, is that as long as it's okay to do it and nobody's going to stop me, I'm probably going to do it. Or somebody else will probably do it, you know. Sometimes there's just things you just don't do, and I totally get that. But in essence, I think a lot of people tend to think that as long as nobody can stop them, it's kind of like Homer Simpson. If I don't see it, it's not illegal, you know. There's some episode of The Simpsons where Homer's like speeding, and he's like, he sees the speed limit sign, so he turns the other way and he goes, if I don't see it, it's not illegal. If I don't see it, it's not illegal. You know, and that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So, the fact of the matter is, there's too much of a chance of somebody using automated trucks for pushing them in a way that could cause a disaster. And I think that that's really going to require that truck drivers continue to be on the truck. Now, it may be a little bit different than we think about it now. Maybe you're not a truck driver, you know. Maybe you're a trucker, just a trucker, you know. And what that would do is, like, you'd be in charge of taking the truck through the city, you know, but then you get it out on the highway, and when you get it out on the highway, you set the automation system, and then you can go in the back and write that novel you've always wanted to write, you know, or do your paintings, or watch TV, or whatever you want to do, you know. But, you know, automated trucks can't do pre-trips. Automated trucks can't do post-trips. Automated trucks can't add oil to the engine if it needs oil. Automated trucks can't add windshield washer fluid or change windshield washers or windshield wipers. They can't add air to tires if tires go bad. They can't limp trucks off to the side of the road. They can't do a lot of stuff that human beings can do. And so I really think automation, in the sense that it will take the driver out of the truck, is not really going to happen. I think we're going to find that we need human beings in or around the trucks the entire time they're operating. Otherwise, it would just be too dangerous. So, anyway, that's my opinion. It's a topic that I wanted to talk about, that I wanted to bring up, that I've been thinking about for a little while. I'm sure you guys have opinions. Feel free to let me know your opinion in the comment section below. I would love to, I'd love to see it. I'd love to discuss it with you, and really open up a dialogue about this. So anyway, that's it. I'm waiting on a phone call. You know the drill. Keep your shine side up. See you guys down the road.